Hello again, everybody. This is Ed with another episode of Call Me Mr. Broadstreet. So on today's episode, of course, we're celebrating the man himself. A very happy 80th birthday to Paul McCartney. Again, just celebrating at 80. Thank God, thank goodness he's made it to this point. It's a really great celebration. My favorite solo Beatle, obviously. I just very happy to celebrate. And as part of this celebration, part of this video, going to review a book. So it's another book I have in my collection. It's Linda McCartney The Polaroid Diaries by Taschen, Taschen, as the publisher. Of course, I'll have already put up some photos. And what I'll do is, just again, as I did last week, going to review the book, going to look through. These are a series of Polaroid photos that Linda McCartney herself took. Of Paul and the family, basically the entire family, really from about beginning in the 1970s all the way up through the 1990s. It's a very intimate portraits, some very funny portraits, some very private portraits, of course, of the family. Very those in-between moments. And thinking of a Polaroid, of course, those old school Polaroid cameras we all remember, or at least some of us remember growing up with, kind of a resurgence of popularity. It makes me think sort of like Instagram, but way back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, not being able to post it online. But it's just a really wonderful book. I'm going to rate it as essential, of course, obviously. And before I get to the voiceover and the main contents, again, just thank you all for all the new subscribers out there, the ones that have been following me from the beginning. I appreciate it as always. Just make sure to please give a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, of course, for the channel. Like I said, I appreciate the support. So what we'll do, without further interruption, go ahead and go into the book. Then I'll come back and give a final recap and thoughts. With celebrating Paul's birthday, to quote the song This One, there never could be a better moment than this one. So here we go. I'll be back soon. All right, welcome. Welcome to the portion where we're obviously touring through the book. I really wanted to start off with a picture of Linda. Next to her, to our left, her right, is her daughter from her first marriage, Heather. Then it looks like we've got Stella and Mary. This is before James was born. Early to mid-70s. Now, none of the book actually has specific dates on it, but it does do the time frames, such as 1970s, etc. Really good to see Linda. She's taking care of the family, of course, as they both did. And you get to see the reverse side of everything. You're seeing Paul in his very groovy moon boots, right in front of a nice fancy car in London. Again, this is from the 1970s as well. If I were to take a guess, really cool photo, by the way. If I was to take a guess, probably circa Venus and Mars, Wings Over the Speed of Sound, 1975, 1976, something along those lines. But there's also a lot more to this book that I really enjoy. Some of the more plain moments, such as this right here. Of course, we get, it's just a nice family spread. It shows how normal the McCartneys' lives were, really. In between all the celebrity photos and everything, of course, which we're going to see plenty of as we're walking through the book. But, just looking at that looks like a very delicious meal right there. Circa 1970s or maybe 1980s. I'm not 100% certain on the date for this particular one. And the next thing we see is, of course, we've got Jimmy McCulloch of Wings. Just really great to see this, and it's from, again, probably 1975, 1976, somewhere around there. Wings Over the Speed of Sound tour, of course, that we have as as Jimmy is riding along in the plane. You should have seen him with the poker man, as they say with Junior's Farm. Then we got a really cool photo right here. Paul, and of course that's his son James, kind of, they're goofing around. Yeah, the Flying McCartney has never made it as a trapeze act. But, of course, we've got, James just, being his energetic young self. Again, this is probably looks like about circa 1979, if I was to take a guess at it. Again, just having a lot of fun at the home itself. That could be the home in Scotland, I believe, if I got this correct. Here we go, just a really cool photo. This is actually the photo of the dust jacket of the regular version of the book. So I didn't have that in any of my photos, but just to show you, if you get the regular edition of the book, you're going to have this as the dust jacket. But just a really cool photo effect, I think, of Paul. Just looking at that, and actually would have made a really cool album cover if if I'm being honest here. And of course, plenty of friends. Paul and Ringo right here. I know the book says circa 1970s Los Angeles, but I believe this is near the very end of the Wings Over America tour in 1976. I know Ringo did come out on stage kind of as one of the last dates, if not the last date of the tour. You can say they're just having a good time backstage, goofing around, probably talking about some really good memories here and enjoying a nice beverage. Oh, and here we go with this photo. I had to include this. Some folks out there, you may have been high, but have you ever been McCartney wearing Bono-esque sunglasses before Bono even did it, with a cowboy hat high? Oh yeah, he's flying the friendly skies on this one. We can tell. Could have been an interesting tour look, to say the least. But you get little moments like this, of course. And you get the next photo, which is going to come up in a moment, right here. Paul rocking the goatee, of course, and we've got someone else next to him. Don't know who it is exactly, but I want to say this is probably from around 1974, around the time when Paul actually visited John Lennon, that is, out in L.A. It looks to be around the same time as those photos. That would be my guess anyways, as far as just looking at the photo. And guessing the time frame on some of these is really a lot of fun. And right here we've got Denny Lane. Now, Denny Lane, this is during the recording of Band on the Run. And just a really nice photo. Again, he was a very important part of the story as well. Would be nice to see a few more photos of him, but, we get this. I think we get one or two more photos in the book, but here he is. He's just adding his guitar part. And, of course, working diligently in the studio, adding to the really great sound of Wings throughout their entire tenure. Next, just a mid to late 70s photo of Paul, and to his left, to our right, that sheepdog. Why do I have that picture up there? Well, that's the same sheepdog, Martha. For the more casual fans out there, that would be Martha, My Dear. That's the song off the 1968 the Beatles album, otherwise known as the White Album. So you've got Martha right there. I think she lived from about 1968 to about 1981. Nice long life there. Next, we've got a 1970s photo of Paul and the kids. They're at the Scottish farmhouse. You get a nice exterior view of that farmhouse. He's kind of raising his guitar in triumph. I'm sure he's working on some songs. If I was to take a guess, maybe around the Mull of Kintyre era, 1976, 1977, somewhere around there would be my guess as I'm looking at the photo. Beautiful scenery, by the way. Just look at that. Here we go. We've got them driving near their estate in Arizona. I believe that's still owned by the family, but you've got Trucker Paul right here. Yep, he's got the trucker hat. He's got the sunglasses. This is probably from the early to mid-'80s. I know the family used to vacation in Arizona quite often. They had a house there from about the late 70s sadly up until Linda's untimely passing, but I think they still own the property itself. Really cool photo, by the way. Oh yeah, a guest appearance by E.T. himself. Of course, anybody out there will know this within 2 seconds. That's Paul's son, James. Again, Halloween, most likely 1982. That's when E.T. came out. Just a cool, funny little mask. Again, it's one of those intimate moments. You're just seeing, inside the McCartney's house, their life, their normal day-to-day activities. It's not all just the flash and everything of rock stardom. Oh, here we go. This is an Easter photo, circa early to mid-'80s. Just really kind of a cool, quirky little photo. For you He-Man fans out there, notice Skeletor in the flower pot there. So that's kind of fun to see. Something, I don't know if James put that there or if Linda actually put that there as part of the photo. Kind of a nice quirky little photo though, don't you think? There we go. Simply having a wonderful, well, snowman time. I don't think this is Christmas. Again, early 80s. We got Paul just frolicking in the snow there. Looks like a nice, snowy time. Sometime during the winter. We don't know the exact date, but just having a lot of fun. I really like the composition of this photo. It's kind of got this otherworldly quality to it. With some of the snow and everything, and the way the camera just captures the snowflakes as well. And for the Star Wars fans out there, of course, C-3PO Halloween mask on top of a lamp, and a couple of other knickknacks and things up on the desk there. And again, just another glimpse into their, into their house, into their day-to-day lives. Probably not that much different from a lot of other things that a lot of other folks may have had at the time period. But just really nice to see, again, these inside glimpses really adds to the book as well. This is a wonderful picture of Linda. Now, this photo is definitely from the movie Give My Regards to Broad Street. This was taken around that same time when they were filming. The filming of Give My Regards to Broad Street, the film, basically between about November of 1982 till about summer of 1983, with some post-production heading into 1984 when it was released. Wonderful photo. Really, really nice photo, actually, right here. Now we skip ahead a little bit back and forth in the chronology. We've got Paul, and that's not Martha. The name of that sheepdog is Arrow. Arrow is a descendant of Martha, and this is Paul and that dog Arrow. Basically, they're on the cover of the Paul is Live album from 1993. But this is an alternate shot, and I think this would have made a good cover as well. And yes, that's the famous Abbey Road crossing. That's so very famous. Here we go, nice photo during the recording of the tribute song to John all those years ago. You've got Paul, you've got the Beatles producer George Martin in the middle, and of course, over to our right, George Harrison. So they're during the recording sessions, enjoying a bit of a nice cup of hot tea, I imagine. Notice Paul's mug, it says Wings 1979, but this is definitely during those 1981 sessions. Nice photo. Of course, we got Ringo, probably circa 1982. This photo was included as part of the 1983 Pipes of Peace album. Just a really cool photo. Ringo's visiting the family, of course, looking very 80s here. But just incredibly nice to see, again, kind of a very cool profile photo. Would have been, maybe not this specific photo, but definitely around this time frame for the Pipes of Peace album. And next, actually another famous friend of Paul's, William de Kooning, an artist that Paul and Linda both knew. We'll kind of notice William's just working on something. Paul kind of sitting there. I believe it was for a painting that is featured on one of the other pages. I did not focus on that specific page during this presentation, but that is actually part of the book itself as well. Very nice scenery, very nice composition, actually, where Paul is sitting for that particular portrait. And I had to focus on this a little bit more because, you see, Give My Regards to Broad Street sweatshirt. Yeah, that would be a nice collector's item to have, wouldn't it? Given my passion for Give My Regards to Broad Street as a film, the album. I'm sure if there were action figures, I would own them as well. But just really cool little photo, actually. Probably right before, probably right as the film was being released, maybe even a little bit after, I would say. This right here, just a nice little glimpse into family life. Those are vegetarian sausages as far as I know. Bread, we got some, again, just some steak sauce, English brand of steak sauce. So just kind of a nice little peek into the, again, domestic side of things. Very ordinary. I mean, considering all the money they had and have, just a really nice glimpse. Lovely photo right here. This is Paul and Linda probably right before Flaming Pie, so I would guess mid to late 90s. I love the two hearts on the bottom of this Polaroid photo. And yes, these were all Polaroid photos that were taken by Linda, for the most part. Obviously, looks a little bit more like a selfie, but you can tell they're just They're both really happy in this photo. I really like it. Okay, we got Stella on the left. Of course, you'll notice the guy with the cigarette. That's Johnny Depp, friend of hers. Looks like Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm almost positive that's Gwyneth Paltrow. I could be wrong. Don't know who the girl is with the dog in the bottom of the photo. But yeah, Stella had and has some very famous friends. So just kind of nice to see. Mid-90s, I would guess, is when this photo was taken as well. And of course, a flaming pie. I'm going to guess this was around the time of the Flaming Pie promotion, or perhaps leading up to it. But yeah, Flaming Pie, classic 1997 album. Again, really cool, actually, color photo here. I kind of like the just capturing the moment. I mean, that is one hot Flaming Pie. And you know what's better than a picture of one hot Flaming Pie? You guessed it. Four hot flaming pies right there. Just kind of cool to see it from the different angles as well. Really good artistic eye on Linda with stuff like this. Whether it was this or nature photography, she definitely has an eye for just capturing the moment. And I think that's what makes a lot of her photographs so special. From the ordinary to the extraordinary to everything that's in between. Really happy that we have all of this and that we have such a nice collection as well. Here we go. That's Paul, I believe Stella, and James standing behind her. Obviously, everybody's a little bit more grown up. This is the 1990s. Again, probably near the Flaming Pie era. Maybe just a slight bit before or during. I like the gold star on the bottom of the Polaroid photograph, by the way. Kind of just showing a special occasion. I'm assuming Stella's birthday would probably be my guess. And the final regular photo, just a wonderful, beautiful sunset. A lot of just a great peaceful feeling. Again, Linda just had such an eye for photography. I find myself thumbing through this book, and of course, it's just a lot of nice photos, as we can see. Very nice moments. Really enjoyable. I definitely recommend to pick it up. But of course, as we're going through, there's a little bit more. There we go. So on the bottom, we have the regular version, which I've been referring to for the photos. Up top, this is the deluxe version. You're going to notice, I mean, that case alone, yeah, that's a very protective case. I don't think a lot of things would get through that case. That's a really protective case. I like how it's got the etching of Linda McCartney's autograph. To house the deluxe edition, you can kind of see the difference between the two books right here. And even here, side by side, I think it's a good comparison size-wise. Yeah, that deluxe book with the case, pretty heavy to lift. Even the regular version has some weight to it and some definite quality, which I really enjoy for the Taschen, book that I have. Both versions of the book. But again, just a really nice visual representation of the scale that you get, whether it's the regular one to the right or the deluxe one to the left. Here we go, just one more picture of the deluxe version, just by itself inside the case. It's obviously removable from the plastic case, which is very heavy, very, very thick, heavy duty, recycled material, I believe. It's a plastic case, but I'm just going to give everybody just a few more seconds to go ahead and we'll take a look at that. And of course, coming up, there we go. Just got a regular picture. This is without the case. You remove the case, obviously. You have the front of the book right there. Again, very massive volume. Even without it, quite a lot to lift. Have to be very, very careful with it as well. Again, I take it out very rarely. I'll explain in the outro how I came about the book. I obviously got it from the Taschen website, but you'll hear about that more in the outro as we go along. Yep, the whole reason I have it. This really is amazing to have. The book is copy number 225. Out of a total of, I think about 2,000 were produced. There's, as you can read, the copy of the artist proofs. This is just the more regular deluxe version, if you will. Without the print. 124 includes the print. Just a little close up of that, as you can see. Copy 225. And I think I might have misspoke. That might actually be closer to 1,000 copies. Edition of 500 copies. No. Geez, my math is wrong. You would think after all this I would know that, huh? But anyways, a very limited edition, needless to say. Just really, really nice to have. And again, just a little bit more of a photo of that, of course. Again, just, it's legitimate. It's definitely, this is Paul's autograph, without a doubt. Again, just the holy grail for me. I wish I could have gotten it in person, but this is the next best thing. Really happy to have it, and I think the autograph itself that you're going to see is very nice. We're going to get a really good close-up of it right here. Yeah, London 2019. So he had to go ahead and sign them all. They explained the process where he signed the pages, and then they hand-bound these and inserted it into the book itself. So that's kind of how they do the process when I spoke with other representatives. But just look at that signature. I mean, nice, clean latter-day signature at that. I love it. Going to get a little bit closer as well. And as I'm just wrapping up, some final thoughts before we get to the outro. I mean, this is a holy grail item. My most valuable item in my collection. Most valuable single item, bar none, in my collection. I'm incredibly happy to have it. Now that I have it, I mean, it's just amazing. Just amazing to have this, to look at it. Again, being very careful with it, but wow. There we go. Just a few more moments. I'm going to go ahead and, stop it here. We'll take a look at the autograph for a few more moments, and we'll get to the outro. Thank you for walking through with me, and we'll get to the outro in a few more moments. And I'm back. Well, of course, you obviously saw why this book is the holy grail for me, so to speak. Now unfortunately I wasn't able to get the autograph in person, but this was the next best thing. What happened with the book is I got this before the Ringo book. I got this at the end of 2019. I actually ordered it during the summer of 2019. It took some time because they had to get Paul aside to autograph the deluxe copies. But, just a very quality product. Really, I was beyond elated to have gotten it in December of 2019. I figured, what a way to end the decade, to end that particular decade. So that's the most valuable autograph in my collection, bar none, is Paul McCartney's autograph. Beyond thrilled to have it. I do keep it in a very secure place. So normally I take out just the regular version to really thumb through and look at, with the book. I think the deluxe edition is sold out. It was probably about something along the lines of about $2,200, including all taxes and everything for the deluxe edition. Now for the regular edition, probably closer to $50 or $60, which is a lot more affordable. Just like with the Ringo book, probably a lot more affordable with most people's price points. But again, even pick up the regular edition, it's still a very quality book, really well done, has a good weight and feeling to it. So it's really just fun to kind of have this, be able to look through these, really private moments, within the family that who knows if they would have seen the light of day really had Linda lived. And of course, we all miss her. She was a very integral part of the story. I still believe the love of Paul's life. Obviously, no offense to his current wife, Nancy, or anybody else that he's ever been with, but, you could really feel the connection there. And the family love, of course. But it just captures a very specific period in time. and a very specific period in their lives as well. So just some really great photos in here. As I've said before, essential, highly recommended. Get the regular copy. If you can find the deluxe, I think one of the books that Taschen did with Paul back about maybe 10 years ago or so, I think those are going on eBay for something like about $6,000. A bit too much for me personally, but I don't know if you can find a secondhand copy of the deluxe version, or certainly you could probably reach out to the company themselves and see if they have any left. There was also another edition with the signed book, and it also included the choice of one of two art prints, also signed by Paul, so like a high glossy print with that second autograph by Paul. Again, I think those at the time were probably going for either $4,000 or $5,000 if I remember correctly. Those are even more expensive because you're getting two Paul autographs, and those were limited to an edition of 100, I believe. Taschen's been in the business for a while. Benedict Taschen started it in what was then West Germany back in 1980. They do a lot of good books. They do a lot of celebrity signings and everything. They've besides Paul McCartney, I think they've had books by let's say Naomi Campbell is one, a whole bunch of artists as another. They've definitely got some things in their catalog. I think Muhammad Ali, they had a series with him, I believe, as well. But again, their stuff is really desirable. Some of it is incredibly expensive that I could probably never hope to afford within 40 lifetimes if I was to live that long. But anyways, I hope everybody enjoyed that tour through the book. Thank you so much for all the subscribers out there. Just once again, please give a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Happy 80th birthday to Paul. And just as a little reminder, I'm going to be doing a live chat 1 p.m. Eastern Time today. My special guest is going to be Sarah Schmidt. She runs the website Meet the Beatles for Real. So, Sarah, I'm looking forward to that when we do that live at 1 p.m. And for anybody out there, please feel free to join in, comment. We'll see how everything goes. But Sarah, thank you so much for being my first official guest, since I've got the software and the capabilities now to do it. I so look forward to sharing our collective memories of Paul and other subjects as well. Like I said, that's just about it. So everybody, please stay safe. If you're going to celebrate Paul's birthday in whatever manner, just do it in a safe manner. That's all I can say. But other than that, I'll see everybody next week. So until then, be safe. Bye.